The galaxy held its breath as the Zarkonian Empire's warships surrounded the peaceful colony of Kepler 442b. 300,000 beings from 12 different species lived there, traders, scientists, and families who had fled war-torn worlds. Now death waited at their doorstep. Commander Zex of the Altarian Defense Force stood on the colony's command bridge. His forearms trembled as he watched the enemy fleet grow larger on the screens. "Send the distress signal again," he ordered his communication officer. "All frequencies. Someone must hear us." The message went out into the void. "This is Kepler 442b colony. We are under attack by Zarkonian forces. Any ship within range, please help. We have civilians. We have children." For 3 days, the signal repeated. The Zarkonians waited, enjoying the fear they created. Their leader, Admiral Zircon, wanted the galaxy to watch. He wanted everyone to know what happened when worlds refused to pay tribute to his empire. The other galactic powers had already decided. The Altarians said their fleet was too far away. The Centaurians claimed they could not risk war. The Vegan Alliance simply stayed silent. Everyone knew the truth. They were afraid. The Zarkonians were too strong, too cruel. Better to let one colony die than risk their own worlds. On the 4th day, something changed. A single ship dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the system. It was small, barely a frigate by galactic standards. Its hull showed patches of different metals where repairs had been made. The paint was faded and scarred from countless meteor impacts. "What ship is that?" Zex asked, studying the readings. "Unknown configuration, sir," his officer replied. Then his voice changed. "Wait. I'm reading the registry. It's a human vessel. The cargo freighter Soul's Pride. Humans." Zex felt his heart sink. Humans were newcomers to the galactic community, barely 50 years since first contact. They had no military fleet to speak of. Their ships were old, slow, and poorly armed. They traded mostly in basic goods and raw materials. What could one human cargo ship do against an entire war fleet? The human ship sent a simple message. "This is Captain Sarah Chun of Soul's Pride. We heard your call. We're coming." Admiral Zircon laughed when he received the transmission on his flagship. "One human ship? This will be entertaining. Let them come. We'll destroy them along with the colony. It will be a lesson to all who might think to interfere." Sarah Chun stood on her bridge, looking at her small crew. There was Jung Hoon at navigation, his fingers steady on the controls despite the impossible odds. Min Jun manned the weapons, what few they had. Seo Yeon worked the engines, pushing their old reactor beyond safe limits. "Captain," Jung Hoon said quietly, "their fleet has 300 ships. We have mining lasers and cargo hauling equipment. How can we possibly—" "We answered the call," Sarah interrupted. "When everyone else turned away, we answered. That means something." She opened a channel to the colony. "Commander Zex, this is Captain Chun. I need you to send me everything you have on Zarkonian shield frequencies and weapon signatures. Everything. Captain Chun, I appreciate your courage, but you must flee. One ship cannot." "With respect, Commander, humans have a saying. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Send me that data." As Soul's Pride moved toward the colony, Sarah studied the information. The Zarkonian ships were powerful but arrogant. They flew in perfect formation, shields at standard power, weapons cold. They didn't consider anyone a threat. "Seo Yeon," Sarah called to her engineer. "Remember that trick you showed me? The one where you turned our mining equipment into something else?" The engineer's eyes widened with understanding. "Captain, that was just theoretical. If we actually try it, then we better make it work. Because in about 6 hours, we're going to remind the galaxy why humans survived on a death world for 200,000 years before. Reaching the stars, the small human ship continued forward, alone against the dark, while 300 warships waited to destroy it. But Sarah Chun smiled. The Zarkonians had made one crucial mistake. They had threatened innocence when a human was listening. Asterisk. Admiral Zircon watched the lone human ship approach with amusement. His tactical officer stood beside him on the flagship's bridge, mandibles clicking in confusion. "Admiral, the human vessel is accelerating toward us. Should we destroy it?" "Not yet," Zircon replied, his 6 eyes focused on the display. "Let them get closer. I want the colony to watch their hope die slowly." On Sol's Pride, Sarah Chun was busy turning her cargo hauler into something the galaxy had never seen. Humans were new to space, yes, but they brought something unique. The creativity of a species that had survived ice ages, predators, and each other. "Jung Hoon, plot a course straight through their formation," Sarah ordered. "Maximum speed." "Captain, that's suicide." "No, it's physics." "Min Jun, remember what humans did in our old wars? Before we had smart weapons?" Min Jun's eyes lit up with understanding. "Kamikaze?" "But Captain, not quite." "Sichiyajadis on our cargo containers?" The engineer grinned from her station. 20,000 tons of iron ore in the holds. "Magnetic clamps ready to release on your command." Sarah opened a channel to the entire star system. Every ship, every colony, every living being would hear her words. "Admiral Zircon, this is Captain Sarah Chun. You came here to destroy innocent lives. You came here to spread fear. But you forgot something important." "And what is that, little human?" Zircon's voice dripped with contempt. "You forgot that humans are insane by galactic standards. We evolved on a world that tried to kill us every single day. We learned to turn disadvantages into weapons. And right now, you're about to learn why the rest of the galaxy should be very, very glad we're peaceful traders." Sarah cut the channel and turned to her crew. "Execute Operation David Stone." The Soul's Pride accelerated beyond safe limits. The old engine screamed in protest. In the cargo bay, Xiao Yen had done something that would have horrified any reasonable engineer. She had turned their mining lasers inward, superheating the iron ore until it glowed white-hot. The cargo containers themselves became massive molten projectiles. "Sir, the human ship isn't slowing down," Zircon's tactical officer reported, worry creeping into his voice. "They're heading straight for us at T." "That can't be right." "Nothing flies that fast without military-grade engines." They removed their safety limits, Zircon realized. "Open fire. All ships, open fire." 300 warships fired at once. Laser beams and plasma bolts filled space. But Soul's Pride had one advantage. It was small, unpredictable, and piloted by humans who played video games, where this kind of flying was normal. Jung-hoon's hands danced over the controls. The ship spiraled, dipped, and weaved through the incoming fire. Not all of it missed. The hull sparked and burned. Systems failed. But the ship kept flying. Distance to fleet, 10,000 kilometers, Jung-hoon reported. "Release cargo." Sarah commanded. 20,000 tons of superheated iron ore burst from Soul's Pride like ancient grape shot from a cannon. In the vacuum of space, the molten metal spread out in a devastating cloud, each piece traveling at the same incredible velocity as the ship that released it. The Zarkonian fleet, flying in their perfect formation, had nowhere to go. The molten projectiles smashed through shields designed to stop energy weapons, not kinetic impacts. Hundreds of chunks of white-hot metal tore through hulls, engines, and weapon systems. 30 ships died in the first 10 seconds. Another 50 were crippled. The perfect formation dissolved into chaos. But Sarah wasn't done. "Min Jun, remember what I said about our mining equipment?" The weapons officer smiled grimly. Mining lasers at full power, Captain. Targeting their flagship's engines. Mining lasers weren't weapons. They were tools designed to cut through asteroids. But asteroids were made of rock and metal, the same materials that made up ship hulls. And Sol's Pride had industrial-grade mining lasers, designed to work continuously for hours. The focused beam struck Zircon's flagship. Shields meant for military weapons couldn't adapt to the steady, concentrated heat of industrial equipment. The laser cut through the shield, then the hull, then the engines. "Admiral!" Zircon's officer screamed. "We've lost main propulsion. Half the fleet is damaged or destroyed." "The human ship, one ship," Zircon said in disbelief. "One human cargo ship did this?" On the colony, Commander Zex watched in awe. The mighty Zarkonian fleet was in chaos, and a single human freighter had done it. But Sol's Pride was badly damaged, venting atmosphere, barely holding together. Sarah's voice came over the comm, strained but determined. "Commander Zex, that bought you time. But I'm not done yet. You might want to start evacuating your people to the shelters. Captain Shun, what are you planning?" "Something humans call going out with a bang. But first, I need to teach these bullies why threatening children was their second biggest mistake. Asterisk." Sol's Pride limped through space, trailing debris and leaking atmosphere. Half the ship's systems were dead. The crew worked frantically to keep life support running. But Sarah Chun stood tall on her bridge, eyes fixed on the enemy fleet. "Captain," Seo Yan called from engineering, her voice tight with pain from a shoulder wound. "The reactor is going critical. We have maybe 20 minutes before it explodes." "Perfect," Sarah replied. "That's all we need." Admiral Zircon had recovered from his shock. His remaining ships regrouped, forming a defensive sphere around his damaged flagship. "All ships, focus fire on that human vessel. Destroy it now." But something strange was happening. As the Zarkonian weapons powered up, their targeting systems started failing. Their communication arrays went dark. Their engines sputtered and died. "What's happening?" Zircon demanded. "Sir, it's some kind of virus in our systems. It's spreading through the fleet network." On Sol's Pride, Min Jun laughed despite the blood running down his face. "Captain, it worked. The virus I uploaded into those cargo containers we launched. When their shields analyzed the debris to adapt, it got into their systems." This was the human touch. While other species focused on bigger weapons and stronger shields, humans asked different questions. What if the enemy's strength could become their weakness? What if connection meant vulnerability? "How long until they purge it?" Sarah asked. 15 minutes, maybe less. "Their security is good. More than enough." Jung Hoon set course for their flagship. "Everything we have left." The navigator's hands trembled as he understood. "Captain, if we ram them with our reactor going critical, we become the biggest bomb this system has ever seen," Sarah finished. "I know." She opened a channel to her crew. "This is your captain. Anyone who wants to use the escape pods, now's your chance. No shame in living to fight another day." Nobody moved. Jung Hoon spoke for them all. "Captain, we knew what we were signing up for when we answered that distress call." "We're with you," Sarah nodded, throat tight with emotion. Then she opened a wide channel, broadcasting to everyone. "Commander Zex, when our reactor goes, the explosion will be ... significant. Make sure your people are deep in those shelters." "Captain Shun," Zex's voice broke. "You don't have to do this. You've done enough. You can escape. With respect, Commander, we haven't done enough until those civilians are safe." "Admiral Zircon." She switched frequencies. "You wanted to make an example. Congratulations. You're about to become one." Zircon's voice crackled through damaged comm systems. You think your sacrifice means something, human? You think dying will save them? No, Sarah replied. But it will show the galaxy something important. It will show them that humans don't abandon those who need help. It will show them that one ship with the right crew can stand against an empire. And most importantly, it will show them that you can be beaten. The soul's pride accelerated one final time. The damaged engines shrieked. The hull groaned and buckled. But the ship flew true, aimed directly at Zircon's flagship. Sir, impact in 60 seconds. Zircon's officer reported. The virus is preventing us from moving. Get us out of here. Zircon screamed. But it was too late. In her final moments, Sarah Chun thought about Earth. She thought about humanity's long, bloody history. All the wars, all the suffering, all the times humans had stood against impossible odds. Maybe this was why humans survived. Not because they were the strongest or the smartest, but because when it mattered most, there was always someone willing to stand up and say, "No more." "Co Yan," she called out. "On my mark, dump everything into the reactor. Every safety protocol, every containment field. Let it all go." "Ready, Captain." Sarah looked at her crew one last time. These brave souls who had chosen to answer a stranger's call for help. "It's been an honor serving with you all. The honor was ours, Captain." Jung Hoon replied. 20 seconds to impact. The Zirconian flagship loomed large in their view screen. 10 seconds. Sarah could see the fear in the enemy's movements, their ships scattering. 5 seconds. Mark. Sarah commanded. .co-YEON released every safety measure. The reactor, already critical, went supernova. The explosion that followed was visible from 3 star systems away. Soul's Pride didn't just destroy Zircon's flagship, it vaporized it, along with 20 other warships too close to escape. The electromagnetic pulse from the explosion disabled every remaining Zirconian vessel. On the colony, Commander Zex watched the brilliant flash fade. Where Soul's Pride had been, only expanding plasma remained. One human cargo ship had broken the most feared fleet in the galaxy. But the story wasn't over. Because in the silence that followed, something else happened. Something that would change the galaxy forever. The light from Soul's Pride faded. But its message had already spread across the galaxy at the speed of quantum communication. Every world, every species, every government had watched a single human cargo ship destroy itself to save strangers. On the Altarian homeworld, High Commander Thex stood before the Council of Elders. "Honored ones, I request permission to mobilize our entire fleet. The threat is over," an elder replied. "The humans destroyed themselves to stop it." "No," Thex said firmly. "The humans showed us what we forgot, that standing by while innocents suffer is the real threat. Our fleet was too far away to help, but we're not too far away to arrive now and ensure those colony civilians are protected." The elder was quiet for a moment. Then, permission granted. All ships, maximum speed to Kepler 442b. On Centauri Prime, the Parliament erupted in heated debate. Senator Kyra stood at the podium. "We watched one human crew do what our entire military wouldn't dare. They had no advanced technology, no military training, no backup. They had courage. And we hid behind politics while they died for our principles. What would you have us do?" Another senator demanded. "What we should have done from the beginning. Send medical ships. Send supplies. Send a message that the sacrifice of Soul's Pride was not in vain." The vote was unanimous. Even the silent Vegan Alliance broke their isolation. Their massive hospital ships, the finest in the galaxy, emerged from their hidden systems and set course for the colony. But the most unexpected response came from within the Zirconian Empire itself. On the Zirconian colony world of Tethys, Governor Vax watched the footage for the 10th time. The small human ship, dancing through impossible odds. The crew that didn't flee when given the chance. The captain who spoke not of vengeance, but of protecting innocence. "Sir," his aide whispered, "the Empire demands we send reinforcements to retrieve our damaged fleet." Vax was quiet for a long moment. His own daughter stood beside him, young eyes wide with questions he couldn't answer. Finally, he spoke. "No, sir. No, I will not send ships to retrieve those who attack civilians. The humans, one ship of humans, showed more honor than our entire empire." He turned to face his military staff. "Send medical vessels. Send them to help the colony our fleet attacked." "Sir, that's treason." "Then I commit treason. But I will not let my daughter grow up in a galaxy where we are the monsters the heroes die fighting against." The rebellion spread quickly. Dozens of Zarkonian worlds, tired of the Empire's cruelty, declared independence. They had seen what one human ship could do. They had seen that the Empire could be beaten. Back at Kepler 442b, Commander Zex stood among the evacuation shelters as his people emerged. The children came out first, eyes wide with wonder and fear. One small Altarian child tugged on his uniform. "Commander, where are the humans who saved us?" Zex knelt down, his voice gentle. They had to go away. But they made sure we were safe first. Will they come back?" Before Zex could answer, his communication officer interrupted. "Commander, you need to see this." On the main screen, space itself seemed to come alive. Jump points opened by the dozens, then hundreds. Ships emerged, not warships, but cargo vessels, medical frigates, supply haulers. And leading them all, this. This is Captain Michael Anderson, of Earth Vessel Houston's Heart. We're carrying medical supplies and emergency personnel. Soul's Pride called, and Earth answers. We're here to help. More human ships followed. The Manhattan Spirit, the Lagos Sun, the Mumbai Dream, cargo ships, mining vessels, passenger liners, anything that could fly and carry aid. Earth had sent not a military fleet, but something more powerful, proof that Sarah Chun's sacrifice represented not one crew's courage, but humanity's soul. Captain Anderson. Zex transmitted, voice thick with emotion. We don't know how to thank you. No thanks needed, Commander. Sarah Chun and her crew already paid our share. We're just here to make sure their payment wasn't wasted. Now, I heard you have about 300,000 beings who could use some help. The galaxy watched as human ships, untrained in military formation, organized the largest relief effort in recorded history. They worked alongside Altarian military vessels, Centaurian medical ships, and even reformed Zarkonian cruisers. In the ruins of the Zarkonian fleet, Admiral Zircon floated in an escape pod, watching his empire crumble. He had come to spread fear. Instead, one human ship had spread something far more dangerous to tyranny. Hope. The age of human isolation was over. The galaxy had seen what humans would do for strangers. And in return, the galaxy decided humans were strangers no more. Asterisk. 1 year later, the memorial station floated where Soul's Pride had made its final stand. Built by a coalition of 15 species, it served as both a monument and a promise. The station's central hub displayed a simple plaque. Here died Captain Sarah Chun, Navigator Young-Hoon Kim, Weapons Officer Min-Jun Park, and Engineer Seo-Yeon Lee. They answered when others would not. They stood when others could not. They gave everything so others would not have to. Commander Zex, now Admiral Zex, stood before the memorial with a human he had never expected to meet. Sarah Chun's daughter, Li Mei. Your mother sent a final message, Zex said quietly. A personal one, encoded in the ship's black box. We recovered it from the debris. Would you like to hear it? Li Mei, wearing her new Earth Defense Force uniform, nodded silently. Sarah's voice filled the chamber, warm despite the static. Li Mei, if you're hearing this, it means we succeeded. I know you'll be angry. I know you'll wonder why I chose strangers over coming home to you. But sweetheart, they weren't strangers. They were children like you were once, families like ours, people who just wanted to live. How could I fly away knowing I could help? How could I face you knowing I had the chance to save them and didn't? Be brave, my daughter. Be kind. And remember, we are not alone in this universe, and that means we must not let others be alone either. Li Mei wiped her eyes. She was right. After her sacrifice, Earth received 10,000 applications from other species wanting to serve on human ships. We're training them now. And humans? Zex asked, serving on alien vessels across the galaxy. The Soul Doctrine, they're calling it. Any distress call, anywhere, gets an answer. No one stands alone. The transformation had been remarkable. The Zarkonian Empire had fallen within 6 months, not from military conquest, but from internal revolution. The image of Soul's Pride's sacrifice had broken their citizens' faith in tyranny. The new Zarkonian Republic's first act was to sign the Soul Doctrine. Earth itself had changed. Once considered a backwater world with primitive technology, it was now the moral center of the galactic community. Not because humans were superior, but because they had reminded everyone of a simple truth. Courage isn't about the strength of your weapons, but the strength of your convictions. Admiral, Li Mei said, there's something else. The Earth Defense Force is commissioning a new ship. We'd like you to be there for the ceremony. 3 weeks later, Zex stood in Earth's orbital shipyard, alongside representatives from every major species. The new vessel was magnificent, not a warship, but something new. Part cargo hauler, part rescue vessel, part mobile hospital. It carried the most advanced technology from a dozen species, freely shared. We call it the Sarah Chun class, Earth's president announced. Designed for one purpose, to be anywhere in the galaxy within 48 hours of a distress call. The first ship of this class will be named Soul's Pride 2. Captain Li Mei Chun took command. Her crew a mix of humans, Altarians, Centaurians, even reformed Zarkonians. As she stood on the bridge, she thought of her mother's final flight. 2 months into their mission, the call came. A mining colony in the outer reach, trapped by asteroid storms. Life support failing. It's 3 days away at maximum burn, her navigator reported. We'll be running on fumes when we get there. Li Mei didn't hesitate. Then we better get moving. All hands, this is the captain. We have people who need help. Let's show them they're not alone. As Soul's Pride 2 jumped to hyperspace, similar scenes played out across the galaxy. The Singapore Hope responded to a plague outbreak. The Berlin Unity evacuated a flooding colony. The Cairo Dream brought food to a blockaded world. Every ship carried the same message in their computers, broadcastable in 300 languages. This is a vessel operating under the Soul Doctrine. We heard your call. We're coming. On the first anniversary of the Battle of Kepler 442b, a tradition began. At the exact moment, Sarah Chun's ship had exploded. Every vessel in space, military, civilian, human, alien, would transmit the same simple message into the void. You are not alone. Because Sarah Chun and her crew had taught the galaxy something precious. Sometimes one ship, one crew, one moment of impossible courage can change everything. And in a universe full of darkness, that light, once kindled, would never go out again. The end asterisk.